with your blood biomarkers, if I run it through my engines, then, my AI engines I meant, then with a 100% possibility, very close to 100%, I can tell you as to whether you'll have a heart attack in the next 10 years, whether you'll have a kidney failure in the next 10 years, whether you'll have liver cirrhosis in the next 10 years. That is the deterministic way in which we are creating our AI engines. And with that, we are saying what is the diet, supplement and lifestyle. If you have that condition, that vulnerability, what is the diet, supplement, lifestyle required through a root cause analysis, which is required to reverse your condition if you have the possibility of having a heart attack.
So we tried to kind of all these tests.
I retired, but thankfully.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tell Me Why, brought to you by Golf News. My guest today is returning to the studio, and once you hear about how exceptional his breadth of work is, you're going to understand why. And you probably ask yourself why he hasn't been here before. Sid Das is a deep tech entrepreneur with innovations spanning energy, artificial intelligence, and healthcare. And today, through his ventures, there are a few of them, eGenome.ai and B'spoke Therapeutics, Sid is applying design-led thinking to preventative healthcare, utilising AI biomarkers and biology-first principles to rethink how supplements and everyday health products are being developed. Sid, it's great to have you back in the chair here for Tell Me Why. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Yeah. We had a great conversation last time, and it's great to pick up on some of those points that we sort of discussed, because we know you've got obviously a tremendous career about a lot of your work that you've done as an entrepreneur. But one thing that you are really passionate about that I want to get into, I guess, a deeper way is finding out in simple terms, where is AI creating its biggest real-world impact in healthcare today? Is it analysing data, designing molecules, interventions? And I guess for most of us, why does that distinction really matter?
Biology or healthcare is trial and error. It's more a practice than a science. If you take a drug, well, it's a possibility that you'll get well. There is always a possibility you won't get well. What we are trying to do in B'spoke and /egenome.ai is to make this a science which is deterministic. The implications of what we are doing will be exactly determined. And let me just talk quickly about what are the tools that we have. We have an AI engine with 500,000 healthy database of blood biomarkers, which has 10,400 parameters for each person. That is the base. Then we have an AI engine which discovers you. Once it discovers you, then with 100% accuracy. Once it does that, then it has a diet, supplement, lifestyle AI engine, which is bespoke for you. It collates around you. Number 2. Number 3 is it discovers as to how the drugs or nutraceuticals which are required and the food which is required specifically for a Kitch or a Priya. That is how accurately, that is how deterministically we are moving forward with the engines that we
So
have
it's
pitched.
moving medicine to becoming more of almost a discipline-based science. So you've got those immutable laws like you would have in physics. That's the aim that we're looking forward to. Yeah, it's fascinating because, in all of your work, and again, we spoke last time, you said that healthcare as an industry is more moving from that trial and error. As we always know, there's no perfect science when it comes to medicine. There's always exceptions to the rule. But moving from that trial and error, you're going to intent-based design. When it comes to, I guess, the patient, what does that shift actually mean with that change?
Medicine or healthcare is more complicated. The complexity of healthcare and medicine is much higher than rocket science, because the underlying basis of rocket science is very clearly defined. The underlying basis of healthcare, which is biology, is a practice. It is not well defined. Now, therefore, as I said, we are trying to make medicine deterministic to 100%. One. And I'll give you an example. With your blood biomarkers, if I run it through my engines, then, my AI engines I meant, then with a 100% possibility, very close to 100%, I can tell you as to whether you'll have a heart attack in the next 10 years, whether you'll have a kidney failure in the next 10 years, whether you'll have liver cirrhosis in the next 10 years. That is the deterministic way in which we are creating our AI engines. And with that, we are saying what is the diet, supplement and lifestyle if you have that condition, that vulnerability. What is the diet, supplement, lifestyle required through a root cause analysis, which is required to reverse your condition if you have the possibility of having a heart attack.
So what are those changes? Because I know traditionally it was always you looked at family history, you looked at those conditions, whether it came to heart disease or whether it was going to be a heart attack. What is it that's changed now with those blood markers that are able to give that almost black and white answer of what the outcome will be?
Yeah. More than what are there in those blood markers, Gage, are the AI engines which run on those blood biomarkers, one, and the large databases on which we run those engines. They determine deterministically as to whether you'll have that condition or not. Your heart health is much closer linked to your glucose levels than to anything else in your body. If your HbA1c, which is a long-term measure of your glucose, and some of your kind of mineral parameters are good enough, your chances of having a CVD risk, which is a heart attack, is actually zero. So in a database of 500,000 people, no one with such good conditions, if I might say, has had a heart attack. So therefore, those plus the AI engines which we are running can deterministically tell you as to whether you'll have these vulnerabilities or not and how to reverse them, most importantly.
Yeah, because that's just not a change in medicine. That's going to completely change people's outlook and how they live their lives day in, day out with that knowledge and being able to reshape what's in front of them. Extraordinary. And you mentioned what you should do if you get those results which aren't too favourable. When it comes to things like supplements which are needed in that situation, Sid, why do you think supplements and those everyday wellness products that you get, why should they be designed with the same sort of biology, that biology first rigor that we sort of expect when it comes to pharmaceutical drugs, which have quite often been under a lot of testing for a lot of years?
The junk food industry particularly is an incubator to the pharma industry. That means the junk food industry makes you sick, and then you go to the pharma industry, and then for the last 10 years or 20 years of your life, they kind of treat you so that you never get out of that trap, if I might say. Well, that's a great business model, right? And rightfully so from their perspective. In fact, what we want to do is to transform you completely and look at medicine from a predictive, precise angle, so that, and as I said, it is personalized too, from that perspective to a perspective where you will not fall ill. In fact, one of the myths which people have is, well, that because you have a body, one has to fall ill. Absolutely not. If you have a body, you need not fall ill. And therefore, what it requires then is that food has to be well designed and at kind of the rigor of pharma.
I've heard medical practitioners speak a lot about prevention is better than a cure, obviously. It's much better to, cut the cigarettes and the vape than it is to come to you when you're, in danger of perhaps having sort of some sort of heart disease. But when it comes to those predictions, how is AI predicting health outcomes before a product ever reaches people? And when it comes to the preventative healthcare, how is this changing the industry?
Let us first understand as to what does molecule or a drug, how does it act? The way it acts is that it kind of goes and binds to what is called as a receptor. The way it talks to a receptor, that is the basic thing. Now, the stronger that binding energy is, the more potent that drug is. So, what am I doing? With my drug discovery engine, I am doing the following things. First is I'm using an AI engine, and I'll come to the simulation after that. In the AI engine, I'm saying that a particular drug, what is the binding energy when it is talking to that receptor? Step 1. Step 2, how much of that drug is required, which is called IC50, and let's leave the technicalities out. Number 3, is it selective enough or not? Number 4, does it cause toxicity or not? Number 4. Once I have done this, the toxicity tests, the effectiveness tests, then what I do is I run a simulation. I am not satisfied with that. I run a simulation. Simulation is in the blood I see in a nanosecond level and the binding energy level, whether what I got from the AI, outcomes from the AI are true or not. And which is, the simulation is 100% perfect, if I might say. So therefore, and then I reinforce the AI model with the real data which I get. And therefore, I arrive at voila, the molecule. And that molecule is specific for a Kitch or a Priya, as different as it might be for a SID. So the way we design molecules, the way we design cure is transformed by these deterministic methods, which is through the drug discovery engine.
Sid, I want to talk about myths because we've always heard about my mum says this, my grandmother promised me this would work, this wouldn't work. What are some of the biggest myths that you find people are saying about supplements or, quote unquote, wellness products today? And how does that differ from the science? Are these like the injections, the pens that are really common at the moment? Yes.
Yes. And I have a weight loss protocol as part of B'spoke. And I will compare that protocol to the weight loss drugs which are there. The weight loss drugs, they do the following things. One is they suppress hunger. But there are only two things if you do it right. One is stop blood glucose surges, which I mentioned a lot. Second is calf muscles have to be strong. The calf is the second heart. So if you make your calf muscles strong, and have kind of good muscular calves, then your heart health itself becomes much better, and kind of your whole body improvement in health is that much. Your longevity increases.
Get into those calf raises, strengthen those calves.
Yeah, I guess there are many ways to do it, frankly. One is, fast walks are fine. And second is, the best way to do it is do weight training, frankly, even in case you can't do it. The best investment one can make is in a small gym, if you might say.
I want you to give me, if you can, one practical example. So just one example, if we know the importance of food and diet, obviously, when it comes to your daily health. But what's one example that you could maybe pass on how everyday snacks or functional foods can be redesigned to support that metabolic health, which you said the gut is the second brain. What's one example of some of those foods that can support the gut without sacrificing taste or convenience? Because we've all had foods that are apparently really good for us, but then we eat them and it's like, I never want to go back. Have you got one example?
One has to avoid sugar spikes. The biggest sugar spiker, if I might say, is snacking.
The processed sugars.
Exactly, processed sugars. Now, the biggest sugar spike is through snacking. That snack typically is kind of biscuits, cookies/biscuits. If you can have a cookie, which I have, which B'spoke has now, that's what I designed, and I'll talk about that cookie, which can have excellent taste. That's a prerequisite. The taste has to be excellent, but it has no carbs, it has no refined sugars, It has no corn syrups. It has no added flavors. It has a kind of, the healthiest base, and it is a prebiotic and has got the right amount of vitamins. Then one has cracked it. The base is almond. It's excellent for the body and every part of the body.
So almond flour, is that the...
It's almond flour, yes, almond flour. Then the sugar is bound together by a proprietary ingredient blend which tastes sweet. So it's glucose molecules bound together, but evolutionarily it does not get broken by the stomach acid. So therefore, it passes through the stomach acid. Therefore, if it's not getting absorbed, then there is no sugar spike. One. Second, it goes to the gut and then feeds on the good bacteria. It is called the bifidobacteria and so on. And then that generates what is called as short chain fatty acids. Short chain fatty acids, propionate and butyrate, what they do is they strengthen the gut and they strengthen the stomach. Your insulin spike didn't happen, so therefore there's ravage, and the sugar and insulin spikes which ravages the body, that did not happen. B, the bad bacteria which normal cookies were feeding on, that did not happen. Here you have got prebiotic for the bacteria, and then that prebiotic is strengthening your gut. So therefore, the gut does not leak as it does in your heart health becomes good. Third, if you have such high sugar surges, then your brain, which is kind of needs a lot of food, and it takes from anywhere, then it does not ravage the myelin layer, as it is called, or the insulation on top of the neurons, and therefore it remains calm and beautiful. In fact, dementia is called type 3 diabetes because of the surges and the havoc which these sweet cookies cause in the brain.
Yeah, so
you see what I'm saying?
You're not getting those spikes, then you're not getting those cravings,
Precisely.
And then you're not getting the long-term impacts. Yeah,
exactly. In each cookie, 16 grams, I take 4 of them. All the ingredients, all the minerals required. You have got,
Do you have chocolate-coated ones as well?
I've got chocolate-coated
Really?
ones, we have got sweet ones, and we have got savory ones.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, whichever taste is up to you.
Well, I look forward to it because obviously you put so much time and effort into developing this product of what it can do. But a product like this, I guess, you've got natural ingredients, you've got the AI design as well with B'spoke. But when it came to developing this product or any of your products, what's perhaps that, and I know you're a great negotiator, but what's the one non-negotiable principle when you're looking to combine all these natural products with advanced technology? What's the most important part of manufacturing a product like this?
First, that it should have the active ingredient, as I call it, in a therapeutic dose. And trust me, I have kind of, through AI generation, which multiplies my mind infinite fold, I have tested all products in this planet. Okay, and I say this with responsibility that 99% of the products do not have just therapeutic doses. That's it, number one. Second, the right mix of ingredients, and I mentioned one to get alive my point. Third, toxicity is very high in many products. Fourth, they attack only the symptoms, and I think weight loss drugs are the best example of how they attack the symptoms, but they shrink you, they make you weak, they have muscle loss weight, and there is bone mass weight. And here, on the other hand, if you take kind of a good protocol, then your muscle mass increases. My muscle mass is more than 50%. My fat mass is less than 10%, which is athletic level, And all of us can achieve that. I say all this not out of vanity, but saying that, how it is that each one can adopt these protocols and become healthy. So that's 4. 5 is that, after that, as I was talking about the binding energy being maximum, so that the product is most effective. So there are these 5 or 6 things which has to be checked out, and these are best done when they're done through a drug discovery engine, which is an AI engine, Kish. I don't think the human mind or a mix of human minds or any other tool is good enough rather than an AI tool plus a kind of a simulation tool which reinforces the AI tool is good enough to kind of, human mind is not good enough in groups or however to replicate this sophistication and the complexity which is there with the tools that I have designed.
So if people unfortunately can't get access to perhaps some of these products and they're maybe shopping themselves and they're looking at supplements in their local store or they're looking at functional foods, what would be your advice to look, because it's healthy to kind of look up the ingredients, and see, what's exactly inside. What are you putting into your body? What's the one thing that you think some supplements in your mind would raise a red flag if it's missing?
First, I think that one should look at whether it is addressing the symptom only and not doing a metabolic reset, if I might say. So therefore, that will depend a lot on the process through which one has created the product. So most of these products are created, natural products a lot, and kind of much of the medicinal products are toxic and very symptomatic. But much of the natural products, well, the objective could have been good or whatever at some stage, kind of through the years. But much of them is grandmother tales, second kind of serendipitous, if I might say, and third is if I might say hearsay. Okay, but if you can have a natural product designed through a drug discovery AI mechanism, you have the best of both worlds and scientific proof that it is addressing root cause A, and B, it is resetting you rather than addressing your symptom.
It's looking at the cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's looking at the root cause.
I mean, we're in a fantastic place when you speak about all this work that we have with, AI markers, and we have all the testing that's available. If you can, look 5 years ahead. And I know that medicine and the research and what's being achieved is just extraordinary. But if you look 5 years ahead, what do you think is one tangible way that AI and those biomarkers that you touched on are going to change how we manage our health every day?
Okay, why do we have to look 5 years ahead?
Okay.
I would say
12 months, 24 months?
I'm saying today. I say that, look, first let us determine as to what are the tools which are required and whether we have them today or not. First is we need a kitsch discovery engine, right?
Yeah.
Somebody which discovers.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So which discovers your health in its infinite complexity. Okay. And as I said, that it is very personalized, precise, personalized, predictive. These are the 3 mantras, if I might say. Do we have it? Answer is yes. Based on that engine, do I have a root cause analysis engine? Yes, I have. Based on that, specifically for kitsch, do I have a diet, supplement, and lifestyle engine? And it's multimodal, by the way. I can take x-rays also of yourself and, scans, x-rays. It's multimodal. All these engines are multimodal. Do I have it? Yes, I have it now. Based on that, do I have a supplement making engine which can say that, look, kitsch's receptors are such design, so therefore I can have the ligands, which I explained, which will have maximum binding energy? Yes, I have. Can I also say that toxicity will be minimal? Yes, I have. Can I also say that binding energy and kind of the impact will be maximum?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have, and voila. So I have it today. Why should I look at 5 years down the line? We have the solutions today.
Yeah. And I think that's the great thing is that the technology's here and we should be able to utilise it, not go with the trends and work out what's going to be best for our, obviously for our health and our life going forward. Now at B'spoke Therapeutics, you're going to be at Arab Health, but that has since rebranded. That's now the World Health Expo that's going to be on this year. Can you just touch on exactly what you think you're going to be doing? What's your presence? And also, what do you think that you're going to get out of the World Health Expo this year?
But look at our tagline or our philosophy, if I might say. Our philosophy is to heal the planet. With the tools that I mentioned, Kitch, we have a real chance today, not 5 years down the line, but today we have the tools to heal the planet. I think the 1905 moment, as I talked about earlier, where you had quanta and the scientists came together and had a physics which revolutionized the way physics was understood. That with AI has happened in healthcare. And I've mentioned that AI is the language of healthcare. With that happened, all I want to do is to take this solution to the world and heal the planet one person at a time. It's a very spiritual quest for me. So as people come in and they see, voila, these solutions are already there, and therefore not only in theory, not only in some kind of in some kind of astronomical domain, but they are translated into food and nutraceuticals. So, and we want to take those nutraceuticals and foods across the planet, which aligns to our spiritual quest of healing this planet. And that's why the World Health Expo is, I think, the right forum for us.
Well, it's a fantastic thing that you're doing. Sid, congratulations on all of your success. Thank you very much for joining us again here in the studios of Tell Me Why. I'm sure we're going to be catching up again soon. Well, my thanks again to Sid Das for joining us here on Tell Me Why. And today's conversation really highlighted how healthcare is moving away from guesswork and towards design, why precision matters more than ever in supplements and everyday wellness, and how biology-first thinking can reshape everything from drug discovery to the food we consume daily. Very soon, the World Health Expo is going to be on, and I think that's a great example for B'spoke Therapeutics to showcase all of their work, utilising both the latest in AI technology alongside their mission to be able to bring health and wellness to everyone and help heal the world. It's going to be fascinating to see. My big takeaway is that better health outcomes don't come from more products, but from smarter designs, clearer inputs, and a deeper understanding of human biology. It's been a pleasure to have Sid Das back here on Tell Me Why, and we look forward to seeing how this next chapter of AI-driven preventative healthcare unfolds. I'm Lachlan Kitchen. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you next time on the Golf News podcast series, Tell Me Why.